A federal judge just dropped a political bombshell, and Donald Trump is in full-blown panic. On January 10, 2026, Judge Beryl Howell in Washington, D.C. issued a ruling that sent shockwaves through the entire Capitol. She found that Trump's actions in the Patel-Epstein files case rise to the level of impeachable high crimes. And then she did something unprecedented. She ordered that all of the evidence be sent directly to House Democrats immediately. Let that sink in. A federal judge just handed Congress a ready-made roadmap for impeachment. After reviewing the evidence, Judge Howell concluded that Trump's obstruction was so severe that Congress had to see it right now. This wasn't a procedural dispute. This wasn't a technical ruling. This was a sitting federal judge formally stating that the President of the United States committed crimes serious enough to justify impeachment. And the evidence? It's explosive. Prosecutor files showing Trump personally ordering the White House to bury material tied to the 2020 election. Internal memos documenting Trump instructing Kash Patel to seal sensitive records permanently. Direct proof of a president interfering in active investigations to protect himself. This is not rumor. This is not speculation. This is documentary evidence, the kind that destroys presidencies, and it is now in Congress's hands. But before we go any further, let's be honest for a moment. You can't rely on the mainstream media to tell you what this really means. Trump's reaction to this ruling has been nothing short of explosive. According to multiple reports, the moment Trump learned about Judge Howell's decision, he went into full panic mode inside the Oval Office. Phone calls turned into shouting matches. Lawyers were berated. Trump reportedly demanded to know how this could possibly have happened and who was going to stop the evidence from reaching Congress. But that was the problem. No one could stop it. This wasn't a leak. This wasn't a rumor. This was a federal court order. The evidence was going to Congress whether Trump liked it or not, and that evidence is devastating. We're talking about smoking gun documents proving that Trump directly interfered in active investigations. Memos written after the 2024 election showing Trump telling Kash Patel to seal the files forever. Orders from inside the White House to bury evidence. Direct presidential commands to obstruct justice. This isn't speculation. This isn't circumstantial. This is documentary proof. And a federal judge has now ruled that it rises to the level of impeachable high crimes. So how is Trump supposed to defend himself? How are Republicans supposed to keep standing behind him when a federal judge has formally declared that he committed offenses worthy of impeachment? They can't. This is the beginning of the end. And the timing could not be worse for Trump. This ruling lands just days after the Supreme Court struck down his tariffs. Just after Speaker Mike Johnson suffered a public meltdown and fled the House floor. Just after 5 Republican senators voted to limit Trump's war powers. Just after Trump went on Fox News begging for a Nobel Prize. Everything is collapsing at once. Courts are striking down his policies. His party is splintering. His approval rating is stuck at 45%. And now judges are declaring that he committed high crimes. This is what a presidency in free fall looks like. Judge Howell's ruling didn't happen in a vacuum. It landed in the middle of a political and legal collapse that is hitting Trump from every direction. And that makes impeachment not just possible, but likely. And Washington felt it immediately. By 4:00 p.m. on January 10th, an estimated 5,000 protesters were gathered outside the courthouse. Crowds chanted, "Lock him up." Demonstrators demanded Trump's immediate impeachment. The streets of D.C. erupted as word of the ruling spread. This is what happens when a president is on the brink. People smell blood in the water. They see the evidence stacking up, and they demand action. House Democrats are now under enormous pressure to move forward. A federal judge has handed them the evidence. The public is demanding accountability. And if Congress doesn't act now, when will it? This is the moment when impeachment shifts from investigation to votes. And what Judge Howell sent to Congress is devastating. Internal White House memos, communications between Trump and Kash Patel, direct orders to obstruct investigations and bury evidence. One memo reportedly shows Trump telling Patel to seal it forever, referring to files connected to the 2020 election and the Epstein case. That is Trump, in his own words, ordering a cover-up, and it's dated after the 2024 election. meaning Trump kept obstructing even after winning re-election. He never stopped. Now a federal judge has looked at that evidence and declared, this is impeachable. Congress must see it immediately, and they are seeing it now. Democrats are reviewing the documents, drafting articles of impeachment, preparing hearings, and Republicans are watching all of it unfold. They see the judge's ruling. They see the protests in the streets. They see the courts striking Trump down. They see their own leaders losing control. And they're realizing something dangerous. Defending Trump is becoming impossible. Some Republicans are already distancing themselves. Some are quietly signaling they might support impeachment, because at a certain point, sticking with Trump becomes political suicide. That point is now. The evidence is too damning. The rulings are too clear. The pressure is too intense, and every Republican in Washington now faces the same choice: go down with Trump or cut him loose to save themselves. Trump didn't arrive at this moment by accident. He nominated Kash Patel to run the FBI, a man who openly talked about arresting judges and seizing assets. He went on Fox News begging for a Nobel Prize while his presidency was falling apart. And now a federal judge has ruled that Trump obstructed justice in the Patel-Epstein files case. It's all connected. It's all the same pattern. Trump believes he is above the law. He believes he can order cover-ups. He believes he can interfere with investigations. And he believes there will never be consequences. But that illusion just collapsed. The courts are pushing back. Congress is reasserting its power. And now federal judges are declaring that Trump committed impeachable offenses. That's why Trump's reaction in the Oval Office was so revealing. According to reports, he was furious. He was screaming at his lawyers. He demanded that someone stop the evidence from reaching Congress. Trump simply could not believe that a judge would rule against him. Because Trump thought he was protected. He thought the courts would shield him. He thought he could get away with anything because he was president. But Judge Howell proved him wrong. No matter how powerful Trump is, he cannot stop federal judges from enforcing the law. He cannot block evidence from reaching Congress, and he cannot escape accountability forever. Trump knows it, and that's why he's panicking. This ruling isn't just political, it's legal. A federal judge has officially determined that Trump committed high crimes, and that gives Republicans something they've never had before: cover. Now they can say, a judge reviewed the evidence, we're just following the law. And that changes everything. The public reaction was immediate and explosive. Within hours of the ruling, thousands of protesters poured into the streets of Washington. By 4 p.m., more than 5,000 people were outside the courthouse chanting, "Lock him up." They weren't asking. They were demanding Trump's impeachment. This is the kind of pressure that forces Congress to act. When people flood the streets, politicians have to respond. Democrats feel it, moderate Republicans feel it. Even members of Trump's own party are hearing from voters who are tired of the chaos, the corruption, and the constant crisis. The public is done. Trump's approval rating is stuck at 45%. His policies are collapsing. His legal problems are multiplying. And now a federal judge has declared his conduct impeachable. Anger is turning into action, and that momentum is pushing impeachment forward. And here's the final irony. Trump warned this would happen. Back on January 6th, Trump said that if Republicans lost control of Congress, he would be impeached. He was admitting the truth. The only thing protecting him was political power. Now that power is cracking, and Judge Howell just exposed what Trump has been desperately trying to hide.